Hello and welcome to Relax with Watercolour. Today's show, we're going to go to Donegal up to Lough Swilly, and as a little treat for you today, I'm going to do two paintings, a monochrome and a coloured painting of the same scene. So time is of the essence here, so let's see how we go. First of all, I'm going to wet my sky 2/3 of the way down as a starting point. And I'm going to use just indigo in this scene. Indigo is a great colour. It gives us great light. Because of its dark tones, it allows us some fantastic light. Now, my indigo. First of all, take my colour. I want to try and capture dark tones on one side of the sky and then lighter tones. I'm going to start off dark tones up here. And that's going to fade up there. So I want to keep this area as clear as I possibly can. And again, down here, that's going to fade away there like that. So I'll do a little bit of rock and roll on this to see how this goes. Try and move away all those brush strokes. Just create these light tones here, these light areas. Let that run down here, like that. Just let it run through. Now it's fairly light, those tones there. Now I'm going to darken that a little bit. Just spread that through there. So I'm going to put darker tones in here. Now this will change the painting. Go back into it. Really dark tones here. Almost black tones here, almost black. Just bring that right down. Fade that out. Now, again, I'm just going to try and pull out some of those brush strokes. There we go. And I also want to get in just a little touch of tone just there before I start drying. This is a very light tone I want to get in. Just down here. Just there. Onto the horizon. That'll blend up into the sky as well, which I don't mind, because I'll be putting in a little headland above that and then rest. Now we'll dry that, but just before I dry it, I just want to let that settle in a little bit more while that's drying, because if I start drying it too quickly, what will happen is it'll start chasing the water over the sky, and what you'll get then, you get all these runbacks. So I want to try and avoid that. It's starting to settle into the paper now, so now I can dry it. Okay, now we go up to our easel. Now, we have our sky here, and again it's just a monochrome colour. So we have those dark tones here going into light there. And we have a very faded headland there. So I want to just strengthen on this a little bit, not too much. So I'm taking some water remember what we said before, you have one dry and one wet. So if I have wet paint, I want a dry sky. If I have a wet sky, I want reasonably dry paint. So this time I'm taking a light tone of the indigo, and I'm going to try and capture, as that's coming around there, I just want to capture a crisp edge there, like that, and a light tone. Bring that with me. There we are. That's just the way I want it. Try and get that straight. That's your water line, so it's very important that we get it straight. I'll just remove that excess water there. There we are. Reasonably happy there now. Turning my brush, I just want to touch that in there like that. Now, there's another little island just out here. So I'm using my small detail brush this time. Small detail brush. Same tone. So if it's the same tone, it's got to be on the same level. So I'm just going to put it in here. Just a small little touch like that. I know it doesn't look much, but from a distance that'll say it all. It's very important, that piece. I want to get my water in here, which is going to be quite wet. Remember, we're doing 2 paintings here today. So I'm taking my indigo, getting it good and wet, and I'm going to start off and I'm going to run it across here like this, and it's the speed of the brush that I'm after, so I'm looking to sparkle this all up. So let's see how that goes. So quickly come across like that. Doesn't matter if you don't go all the way over. There we are. Just get another one in here to reload, and away we go. Now that's good. Happy with that. Again, as that starts to, because we're at this angle, that's all going to start to move very gradually. So what we're trying to do, as that starts to build up there, we remove it with the brush. Another little piece there. I'll let that line go. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. That's okay there as well. I'll just tidy that off. Now I'm taking my detail brush. Now this time we want to get a nearer little island here, so that's going to be a little bit darker. Start off with a lighter tone, and if you need it darker, then you can darken it. So we're talking about here, there, it's that shape. Get it nice and even, straight across like that. And then that's going to go up into a little rock formation there. And then start our main piece of the land there. We come up. And then as we come nearer this direction, our colours will get stronger. And this is going to go up. It's going to go up, it's going to break through the horizon, which will show our distance, so like that. And as it does that, we're also coming in this direction as well. So we're down about there. I don't like lines forming there. It causes all sorts of problems. So try and bring it with you when you're doing it. some more tone. Now what's important here is that because this is much closer than that, we've got to take that tone now and we've got to make it a much more sharper. So we want to give the illusion of depth. So we want to push some darker tones in there. Just go to do now, and just push them in like this. There's a little headland there. Push that right up there. And we've got a little run back starting to happen there, which I'm going to fix. I'm just going to turn my brush side on, capture some of those rocky points here. Could be some trees, anything like that, break the horizon. That little run back there, I want to try and sort that out. Taking a damp brush and just very gently touching it there. Add a little bit more tone. And my tone isn't quite right there, so I'm going to fix that. It's better. Because I've darkened it there, corresponded. It's only a slight tone difference, but it's important to keep them all together. Now, so that's our monochrome of Loch Swilly. A few more little bits I could do there, but I think time is going to be against me on this, because I want to get this painting done now in colour, using several colours. But that's Loch Swilly in monochrome, and now we'll get ready for colour. And welcome back to part 2 of the programme. Now there's no handy hints this week. We're doing 2 paintings. We've our monochrome done earlier on, so now we're going to try the same scene, the Loch Swilly scene, with using different tones of colour this time. So first of all, we'll start off in our traditional way of wetting our sky. Just get my brushes sorted out here for the sky. Now, here we go up into the sky now, and we're going to start off with a little touch of yellow ochre again on the horizon. Now, yellow ochre. Don't need too much of it. Got a nice warm painting this time. Nice warm painting. And the yellow ochre this time was going to go across here, like that. And we're going to bring it now even into the dry area. I'm going to go straight in there with it, like this. There we go. Now, I'm going to go back into my indigo this time. And I'm going to use those 2 colours. Start my indigo up here. Those dark tones, dark tones there. Just not going to touch them with the brush to each other. Let them gel together as they are, like that. Let's see what happens. Now, Let's roll these up into the sky and see what we can create. Now, as they touch each other, it's going to have all sorts of effects. So we're just trying to control that a little bit better. So just turn the paper this way. I'm going to try and go back in there and darken that top area. This will be a very nice, warm sunset painting. There we go. Let that come down here again. I have my warm tones here and my water there. So as soon as that starts to dry, we can move on. As you can see, just by blending those colours, I'm actually stopping them from going into each other by moving the paper around. And as it starts to blend, settle into the paper, I can now manipulate that a little bit. So I'm going to take some indigo. Now this time, a little bit just there, it just needs a bit of attention. I'm going to drop this indigo colour. I'm going to drop the indigo colour into some of the yellow ochre. Let's just see what happens when we do that. So I'm only going to put in small little touches of it, particularly on the horizon. Let's see how we can improve on that. So I'm just going to leave that flat and then just let it settle in for another minute or two, and then I'm going to take my dryer and I'm going to dry that all off, and then we're going to start then at putting in our islands with different tones. Now, let's take my dryer. Just another point for you as well. I often see a lot of people at the workshops and at the classes, and they take the dryer and they have it so close to the paper like this, and they're drying an area too fast, and the surround of that area then starts to form what's called a run back, and that causes a few more little jagged edges which you don't really want. So when you're drying, keep the dryer away from the paper as much as possible so that it's hot air over the top of the paper and not a concentrated jet. Okay, now back to our easel. We have our indigo, we have our yellow ochre, and we've blended the two very subtly, and then we've dropped in our indigo in little small, little faded clouds here. So now we're getting ready for our headlands here. Now this time I'm going to use my detail brush. I'm taking some indigo with yellow ochre, and I want it fairly faded. Again, we're just coming down onto that horizon line. I'll just push this up a little bit forward. There we go. Just fill up that area. There we are. That's fine. And again, I'm going to continue that out here for our little island. It's in the same plane. And again, back. Now, I'm going to put in some colour here now. And again, I'm going to put a mixture in. So we have our indigo here. But again, I'm going to drop in some of the yellow ochre into this. But I just want to get those dark tones. I cannot touch that area there, so I just go straight across like this. There we are. I'm going to start in now to my other islands just here. That's going to be a darker tone as well. So we shape in here, and it's back here I want to be. And that's too light. So we get our tone a little bit stronger. There we are, it's better. It's a better tone. Push that out there like that. And bring it down here. If anything, I may have gone a little bit too high this time. So that's okay. Now, I'm going to walk that back to about there. That's my starting point. And then I'm going to start coming up and breaking through the horizon. Bring it up here. Yeah, that's coming on very nicely now. I can just see a nice little niche coming in there. Bring this down. Now I really want to get in the darker tones here. I'll just finish this off before we do that. It's always a good idea when you're painting to plan your painting. Have an idea in your head where you want things to go, and so that you're not working blindly. Just have a rough idea. You don't have to have it all planned out. Things can change. They're never all going to be the same anyway. Now, I want to get this darker tones in here. Because this area here concerns me, so I just want to go over that like that. And I just want to put a little bit of maybe the sun in here. Just very quickly. There we are. And then from that, just a very quick drying process here. And just a final burst of colour. This is burnt sienna. Beautiful orangey red colour. just to finish off. Just go straight across like this. Just put it straight across everything. And there is Lough Swilly. So that's Lough Swilly. And as you can see, it's a nice evening sunset. That's Harry Feeney. Relax with watercolour. Until the next time, goodbye.